Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2018 action horror movie Overlord, the J.J. Abrams produced movie that is directed by, who we got directing this? We've got Julius Avery, and it stars Jovan Adipo and Wyatt Russell, son of Kurt Russell, of course. Now this is a film that's been getting a lot of buzz months leading up to its release. There was speculation at one point that this was going to be part of the Cloverfield universe. That was debunked by J.J. Abrams, basically saying it's nothing to do with Cloverfield. So it isn't. And this is a film that a lot of people are comparing it to things like Wolfenstein, you know, the game Wolfenstein, or Call of Duty Zombie Mode, all that kind of stuff, and I understand those comparisons. And this is a film that focuses on a US unit that is sent behind enemy lines on the eve of D-Day with strict orders to take down some kind of church that will ensure that the boys doing the beach landing the following day will have more chance of survival. So this is a very, very critical mission. The beginning of the movie, it all doesn't go according to plan. Not everybody makes it behind enemy lines. There's only a few of them left. They make their way to where the church is. They figure out how they're going to get in this church. They put all this plan together. And with this, I'm sure you've seen the trailers and some of the pictures and things like this. It turns out that those dastardly Nazis have been experimenting, trying to create the perfect soldier, and what they've actually created is a cross between, you know, a zombie and like a super soldier type thing. And this small band of American soldiers have to deal with that and at the same time work hard to still bring this church down so that the D-Day landings can all go according to plan. That's the basic skeleton of the story of this film, guys. What did I think of Overlord? Well, this is almost a film of two halves, and I say this quite a lot sometimes. I thought the first half of this film, or the first 40-45 minutes of this film, was fairly bog standard affair, apart from the fairly exciting opening when they're in the plane getting ready to parachute out down behind enemy lines. I thought that was quite an exciting and well done sequence. After that, when they actually get behind enemy lines, it's fairly bog standard war movie type stuff. Granted, big budget war movie type stuff, but not overly interesting if I'm honest, and some fairly annoying characters in here. The only real likeable character that we get to relate to initially is Jovan Adipo's character Boyce, who's very relatable and likeable. Everybody else isn't. However, when this movie steps into the horror territory after the first 45 minutes, and Boyce, you know, goes on a reconnaissance mission into the church, and he discovers all these horrors that are going on in there, and then when the unit decides they have to go in this church to complete their mission to bring it down, and again witness all the horrors that are going on in there, and you know, have this huge battle for survival, this movie picks up tremendously and works far better as an action horror than it does as a bog standard war movie, in my opinion. And I thought the second hour of this film was excellent, thoroughly enjoyable, completely unbelievable and pretty stupid at times, but I was really, by this point I was quite invested in these characters, and I really bought into it, and there are some pretty fun sequences, I would say, and a couple of effective scares as well. It's not one of those terrifying horror movies. There's a couple of really tense moments in it, but this is more along the lines of action horror rather than, you know, in your face type horror. It's not particularly gory. I think if they'd have dialed it up a little bit more, the gore and the horror, I think they might have had something a little bit more special here than what they've actually got. I don't think they actually realised what they had excuse me, what they had and the potential that they had with this movie. Because let's be honest, you go to any supermarket or DVD store and the shelves are full of like Nazi zombie or Nazi horror type movies. They're a dime a dozen, and I guarantee you after the release of this film there'll be another spew of them following this movie, of Nazi horror and Nazi zombie type movies. So they're a dime a dozen, these movies, in actual fact. Just big screen versions of them are a little bit more scarce. So I think this film could have been a little bit more graphic and a little bit more daring and a little bit more horrific. But there is no denying that this film is a blast and it's a lot of fun. It's almost like a theme park ride at times. You're up and down, very excited, really worried, tense, really into the action when it kicks off. And the production values here are all top notch. You get some pretty intense gun battles as well when it goes down the war route later on in the film, and they've got to fight against the regular German army and stuff. That's done particularly well, feels pretty realistic. So the production values here are all very, very good. I thought the performances were all great. I really enjoyed the performances for the majority. A couple of the characters I didn't particularly like. I liked Wyatt Russell's character, Ford, and oh my god, does he look like his father. He really, he's the image of his father, Wyatt Russell, and I liked his character arc by the end of the film as well. So I've got to say, guys, I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. I'm being a little bit generous, I think, with that score, but it's more like a 7 out of 10, but I'm giving it that extra point just for entertainment value and how much fun I had with this movie. But it is a lot of fun, there's no denying it, although it ain't going to change your world. It's not that kind of movie, it's not going to blow your socks off. So for me, guys, yeah, it is worth checking out this movie. It's loads of fun. So I do hope you enjoyed this review, and thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time on Screen Stars.